for this assignment, you will need a ruler or some other straight edge like the edge of a book. You will need a color of colored pencil. If you have more than one of that color, maybe 2 reds or 2 greens, you may pick that color to create some light, medium, and dark values. And you will need a pen or a marker for outlining, as well as our pencil. We're going to always start with our pencil. We're going to draw lightly today. First, we're going to start with our horizon line. So I'm going to start in the center of my page for now to make sure I have plenty of room at the top and the bottom for my cubes. I'm just going to lightly drag that across there. So notice that I held my ruler or my straight edge still with one hand. I gently sat my pencil down on my page. I pressed toward the ruler as well as down in a downward and left direction so that it stayed in contact with that ruler the whole time to draw that line. So this is my horizon line. I have the sky area and the ground area now. Now to make our cubes all have the same perspective, we need to draw a dot in the center of that for our point of our perspective. This is called our vanishing point. That is the point at which everything vanishes. As objects get closer and closer to that point on the horizon, they will start to disappear. We cannot see them anymore. This dot does not need to be very large. As long as you can see it, it will be good. Now we're going to draw 4 boxes in the 4 different corners of our paper here. It is important that we use our ruler today, always, with every line that we're drawing, and we use vertical and horizontal lines. If you're not sure if your ruler is lined up in a horizontal or vertical manner, look at the edge of your paper. If your ruler looks like it's going at a slant compared to the edge of your paper, it's not quite horizontal. Check and make sure that it is lined up with that bottom edge so that it looks like it's going along there straight across, no angle, as best that we can. So I'm going to make my boxes. You can measure them if you'd like. I'm going to make them about 2 inches on mine. Your paper might be bigger than mine. You can make yours bigger. And then we're going to use the vertical lines to connect them. To make sure that we have a right angle in those corners. We want our drawing to be very precise today. On this one, I'm going to start with my vertical line. It's okay if each box is a little bit different size. Now, notice that I made some taller and lower or higher on the page. That might make your picture more interesting. So now we are going to make these boxes look 3D. I did these lines here nice and dark for you to see, but these next diagonal lines that we're going to create toward our vanishing point need to be very light so that we can erase part of the drawing. Next step is to connect the corners of the box to the vanishing point. So I need to put the edge of my ruler on the point of my rectangle or my square And this side of the ruler must also be touching my vanishing point. So my ruler has to connect the 2 points before I can draw the line that will connect the 2 points. So please line up your ruler or your book or whatever you're using as a straight edge and lightly draw that line so that part of it may be erased later. I'm going to go with this corner here as well to connect it also to my vanishing point. Now this corner right here, if I try to draw it toward my vanishing point, I'm going to end up drawing through my box. That means that it is behind the box. I'm not going to see that corner of the box, so I don't need to draw that one. If you try to connect a corner to your vanishing point and you end up having to draw through your box, don't do that one. You would not be able to see it in our perspective. So I'm going to start connecting the rest of my boxes to my vanishing point to show you what each one will look like based on where it is on the page. Always we are connecting the corner to the vanishing point, making sure our ruler is lined up from the 2 points. Remember, 2 points make a line. And again, this corner, since it would go through the box, we don't need it. It is behind the box. Notice that the way I drew this box, it is sitting in front of part of this box here. So I erased the line from this one since it went behind there, and this one went in front. Don't worry, we might end up erasing more of this stuff in here anyway in this next step. So if that part gets confusing for you, we can just fix it in the next step. The next step is to close off the back side of our boxes. Right now we have the front face of each cube. We can see the top and sides of these boxes, and above the horizon line we can see the bottom and the sides of these boxes. The perspective of the cube changes based on where it is placed in relation to our vanishing point. In this next step, we'll be drawing the back edge of the cubes to close them off so that it doesn't look like they're going off forever into space. It will be important to create vertical and horizontal lines that are accurate to recreate this right angle here for the corner of our box. This side is the vertical side of the box. It has a vertical edge here. I'm going to take my ruler and line it up with that vertical edge that I created, and I'm just going to slide it over and leave it in that vertical orientation. To close off my box, I just need to draw a vertical line from this line up to this line. To close off the bottom side of my box, I'm going to line my ruler back up with the horizontal bottom edge of this box, and I'm going to slide it down in that same horizontal orientation until I get to where I drew that other line. And then I have to draw my line from this line here, this diagonal. Oop, my ruler slipped. I need to make sure that it's horizontal. All the way over until I get to my other diagonal line. When I get there, I stop, and then I can erase these lines. I'll explain that one more time before I quickly demonstrate the others. Again, On this one down here, I have a horizontal edge, so I can line my ruler up with that horizontal edge to make sure that my ruler is in an orientation that is matching the top of that box. Then I'm just going to slide it up without making it angle at all, and I'm going to go from one diagonal line all the way across till I get to the other one that I did for that top edge of my box. And you can slide back as far as you want, however big you want the top edge of this box or the bottom edge of the box to be. For the vertical side of this box, again, I'm going to line up my ruler with the vertical edge of the box, slide it over until I meet the other line that I created here. Then I'm going to connect my diagonal line from here to here with my ruler, and then erase the rest of those diagonals that I do not need anymore. I'm going to quickly demonstrate that again on these other 4 boxes. You may have created a drawing similar to this in the spring. If you did, this was another chance for you to practice. If not, then I hope you got it the first time. Please pause and replay those steps as many times as you need to get your lines looking correct with your vertical, horizontal, and diagonal lines going toward your vanishing point. Remember, please, it is very important for this drawing to look correct that you use a straight edge or a ruler, anything that has a straight edge to it. Remember, it could be a book, it could be a box of crayons, or whatever it is. Just make sure it is long enough to attach from your vanishing point to the different parts of your drawing. Here's where we're going to take it up a notch. Now we can use our imagination to turn these boxes into anything we want. We have a alien-looking landscape now with some boxes that are floating, and it's up to you to use your imagination to turn these boxes into something with a pencil drawing for this next step before we start adding any value or coloring it at all. So please use your pencil now to make this into your own unique landscape. I chose to turn my cubes into a floating aquarium in a barren desert landscape. I outlined all of my lines in marker before I started coloring, and then the bottoms and tops of my boxes are going to have the darkest value, the darkest color. The sides are going to have the medium value, so medium, and the front box here we're going to do light. So if you need to practice those values on a separate sheet of paper, please do that before you start coloring your boxes. It simply means you're using hard pressure for dark on the bottoms and tops, and medium on the sides, so anywhere there is a side to a box, and then in the front you're using that light value, very lightly, using that good craftsmanship. Once you have your cubes colored with the correct values, dark, medium, and light, you may continue coloring in the rest of your landscape using your values as well to add detail and interest to your full landscape. Your drawing needs to be completed before it is finished. That means colored in completely using different values and maybe showing some textures in your different areas of your drawing.